House Speaker Claudius J. Francis says that Saint Lucia's Electoral Act is better thought out than those of many developed democracies. As an international elections observer, he has witnessed elections in Britain, the US, the Caribbean, and Latin America. In his experience, there are several factors that make Saint Lucia's safer and less vulnerable to fraud than many others. First among them is that votes are counted at the polling stations for a preliminary count before ballot boxes are moved to police stations for official counting. How does this ensure election integrity?
Suppose, for example, God forbid, along the way, the presiding officer was involved in an accident and the ballot box got impacted and it opened and all the ballots flew away. That election is in problems. In Saint Lucia, we count the votes at the location first. That is deemed under our Election Act to be a preliminary count. Only then do the police collect the ballot box and take it to the police station.
And so in the worst case scenario, Saint Lucia has a preliminary count to fall back on. Another way in which Saint Lucian elections maintain fairness and integrity is by limiting the number of votes per ballot box. This helps avoid long lines and congestion on election day.
So you're never going to be either congested or even over congested at any polling station in Saint Lucia, except if everybody decides to come and vote at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
But even in that eventuality, Saint Lucia's laws state that anyone who is on the line to vote by 6 p.m. must be allowed to vote regardless of the scheduled closing time. There is pretty much only one reason why voting can be stopped, and even then the right to vote is guaranteed.
The vote will only be stopped if a security issue arises, because if it gets too dark, people will feel not at ease, criminal activity can take place. So at that point, they can stop. They would then take the names of those individuals on the line who can come and vote the following day.
The House Speaker notes that only Jamaica has comparable guarantees enshrined in its legislation. The Electoral Act has been amended over the years to include several improvements. But as election campaign season heats up and the rhetoric becomes uglier, this little island's electoral laws remain one of the world's best guarantees of election integrity and the peaceful transition of power. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seafley.